Today we are going to be going over the absolute best ways to make money in GTA 5 this week. We have a couple awesome triple money events and a couple amazing double money events as well, and I'm going to be telling you guys what you should do to maximize your profits this week in GTA 5 Online so you can make the most money for the next DLC update. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoy the video, and without further ado, let's get into it. So first, let's start talking about the Hangar. Now you guys can make double money from this week. Now you can actually make a pretty decent amount, so let's go over it. Solo, it'll take about 13 hours to fill up 50 crates in your Hangar. If you do chemicals or narcotics, normally without double money, you'd make about $850,000 from a full sell mission, and Ron will take a small cut, I would believe like 2 or 2.5% as well. And if you're selling 50 crates at once solo, you know there's going to be multiple vehicles, most likely 3 or 4. The most I've ever had is like probably around 4, but honestly I really don't do Hangar work too much normally because it doesn't pay out that much solo, and I do most of my work solo. And if you don't sell all of your crates off in that one sell mission, you won't get that huge bonus, which I believe is about 70% for chemicals and narcotics, which is pretty insane. So normally you would lose a lot of money. Now don't forget, it is double money this week, so from a full sell mission you could actually net about $1.7 million. But like I said, if you don't sell all the crates, you'll lose that 70% bonus, which means you only make about $1 million minus Ron's small cuts. So you would lose a ton of money. So you're going to want to do it with a crew, totaling out to about 4 people, including yourself. If each person steals a crate, you'd make about $20,000 per crate with double money, but since you get that 70% bonus at the end as well, it's around $32,000 per crate, which is just insane. And you'd have to get 50 crates total. So it would be the same, about $1.7 million, and you shouldn't have any trouble completing the full sell missions because you have a crew with you and there's somebody to use each vehicle. There's also a short cooldown in between sourcing missions, so during that time do some VIP work or terabyte work like Headhunter, Sightseer, or Robbery in Progress, or Diamond Shopping from the terabyte, just so then your crew doesn't end up leaving because they also want to make some money, and that means everybody makes some money in the end game. So in between missions, just make sure you do one of those CEO missions or terabyte missions so then everybody gets some profit at the end of the day. It's still going to take some time to do this. It'll take about 3 hours and 10 minutes if you have a full crew to source those 50 crates, and if you do it with 2 people, it'll take about 6 hours and 30 minutes to get those 50 crates. So if you do it with 4 people, your profit is about $548,000 per hour with a crew, which is actually pretty damn good. So if you have a crew, you'll make some good money, and I've always said that in the past. The Hangar is a pretty decent way to make money if you have a crew and it's double money or triple money. If it's not, it's really not the best. Now let's say you do it with 2 people, you'll be looking at around $272,000 per hour, and solo, you'd be looking at about $132,000 per hour. And that is if you guys get the bonuses, and that is also because it's double money. When it's not double money, you're not going to be making anywhere near this money. You'll be making less than $100,000 per hour if you guys are doing it solo. So definitely take advantage of this. You guys can make $548,000 this week in GTA 5 Online per hour if you have a crew, including yourself, of 4 people. So definitely take a look at Hangars if you guys are interested, but in my opinion, there's some better ways to make money this week in GTA 5, so let's talk about that. Next up, we have the Entourage Adversary Mode. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, nobody was playing it when I was trying to find a job for it. Everybody's playing Deadline or something else. But I know enough about adversary modes and double money to tell you how much you'd actually make from this. So from Entourage, if you guys play it, most likely you'd make around $20,000 per round if you win, and if you lose, you'd be making right around $7,500 to $10,000, which isn't really bad. At most, you could be seeing around $24,000 up to a max of about $30,000 per round, and that's like top end if you have a full lobby and you run at the timer all the way to the very end, and maybe it goes into overtime if you could even do that in that game mode, which I don't think you can. So it all depends on how many rounds you play. If you play on first to win 3 or 4 rounds and you go back and forth winning, losing each round, you can actually make a ton of money if you end up winning the match in the very end, since it is double money, and definitely look at making well over $100,000 to about $150,000 at the very most. So Entourage is a pretty decent way to make money. It'll probably take you about 20 to 25 minutes to play through an entire adversary mode mission of Entourage, but from that 25 minutes, if it was a full lobby, you'd make a pretty decent amount of money. Next up, we have the Super Yacht Life missions, which are paying out triple money this week. Now, I just played one. My favorite one is Bon Voyage, because that one, you literally just stand on the yacht and just shoot a bunch of enemies, and it's pretty simple if you play it on hard mode. If you have a full lobby, you guys can make a pretty decent amount of money. I played with one other person. It took about 9 minutes because the other guy died, but I ended up making about $41,000. With a full lobby, you could probably net about $45,000 every time you do it. It took me 9 minutes. Give or take some waiting times, let's say it takes 10 minutes per super yacht mission. You guys will be looking at about $270,000 each per hour playing these missions, which is a pretty decent amount of money. So if you just want to chill, lay back, not grind any kind of CEO work or anything like that, you just want to play some simple missions, I would highly suggest playing the Super Yacht missions. By the way, be sure to check out DigiZani. They'll hook you up with tons of discounted games, gaming accessories, discounted gift cards, and in-game currency for dozens of your favorite games. Don't forget to use code Frolics at checkout for a 10% discount. And finally, we had to save the best for last. It's going to be Deadline. This is where you guys are going to make a ton of money, all right? Let's start off by talking about how much money you could look at making per round. So if you go really quickly, you could look at a minimum of like $15,000 if you have 4 people. The max you could be looking at is about $33,000 to $38,000 if you guys play for 10 minutes and you go into overtime. So that's a pretty decent amount of money per round if you win. Now, I have something to say to the noobs and to the veteran players. To the veteran players, there is a ton of noobs playing Deadline this week because there's brand new adversary modes out and they can make a ton of money. Each lobby I went into, I saw at least one person under the level of 50. The other person was actually most of the time under level 50. And then the third person I saw was usually just a regular level around 120. Now, to all the noobs, just practice a lot and make sure you do some perfect practice because everybody knows perfect practice makes perfect. If you practice and you do shit, you're not going to do perfect ever. So make sure you do well. The best tip I can give you is take your time. Don't be stupid like I was. Sometimes I was being really stupid in these new Deadline game modes because I thought I had a jump boost or a speed boost, and instead I had a boost that slowed down time and I drove into people's lines. I was driving off ledges and falling into other people's lines. It screwed me over a lot. What I was doing mainly is just cutting people off, driving from wall to wall, so if somebody decided to come down that route, they literally have no exit and they would crash into my line. I was barely even touching the accelerator. I was just driving very, very slowly, which is a great strategy. Obviously, you guys will come up with your own strategies when playing it, but anyways, let's talk about how much money you can actually make. So the strategy you guys are going to want to use is this. You're going to want to get 3 of your friends with you and you're going to want to play Deadline, all right? And this is how you're going to want to do it. Each of you are going to want to win 3 rounds. You're going to want to set the round win limit to 4 rounds total and the time limit to 10 minutes, and then switch it to lives or kills, whichever one you want, and then just chill. Then once you guys each win 3 rounds, by the way, from each of those 3 rounds, you guys should be making at least $25,000 to $33,000 each of those rounds, depending on how long you actually spend in the rounds. If you go through the whole timer, you'll make the most amount of money. If you go into overtime, you'll make even more money. If you go through half the timer, you won't make as much. Anyways, you've each won 3 rounds. Now you're at the round where whoever wins it wins the entire match. That's the one you want to try your ass off. And if you end up winning, you can net right around $288,000. You're probably like, well, how the hell did you get to that number? Well, it's actually pretty simple. Let's say on average you're making $27,000 per round you win, which in my opinion is being generous, especially if you're using this strategy. So you win a total of 4 rounds and you made $27,000 per round. And then you've also played another 9 rounds because your friends each won 3 rounds as well. So you could be making right around $5,000 per one of those rounds, all the way up to like $12,000, maybe even $15,000 for each of those rounds. So then you add all of that up, and then you add the match bonus on top of that, which is 30%. So then you guys are looking at literally right around $288,000 for the entire match, which is just insane. And your friends won't be just left hanging because they also won 3 rounds each, so they'll be pulling in a ton of money as well. And all of you guys combined played like 13 total rounds, so no matter what, everybody's going home with a ton of money. And that's most likely going to take you about 30 to 40 minutes to actually end up doing, depending how long you take per match. So in the end, you could be looking at almost $500,000, maybe even over $500,000 every hour to an hour and a half, which is just insane. It's a pretty great amount of money. Honestly, it's definitely not the most amount of money you can make in GTA 5 in 1 hour. We all know what that is, and that's the Kyle Frigo heist, but that shit's so boring now, and I'm sure you guys want to try something else. And I know you guys probably have a ton of money already saved up for the next DLC, so if you just want to make some easy money and have some actual fun, definitely check out Deadline because you can make a ton of money from it this week. Plus, everybody playing, if you're using that strategy, will make a lot of money as well. Anyways, that is going to wrap up the video for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to smash a thumbs up on it, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next video.